win number 3 in 2007.
Pick. 20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration. Dale Earnhardt will come to the caution flag to win the Daytona 500. 3 and 4, make room. Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt. There's another 7-time champ. Jimmy Johnson wins his 7th NASCAR Sprint Cup championship.
Welcome back to the Slide Job Podcast. I'm your host, Colton Smith, or Left Turn Central, here joined by co-host Ben Miller and co-host Brandon Bull Davis. Fellas, we're back with another episode. Thanks for filling in for me. Earlier this week, got a chance to go to Hocking Hills, Ohio, very beautiful area of Ohio, one of the few beautiful areas in Ohio, but we have a lot to talk about. NASCAR announced officially that they will be moving to a 750 package at most tracks on the schedule, as well as Steve O'Donnell dropping just nugget after nugget on his Dale Jr. Download podcast with the lawsuits and playoffs. So definitely be sure to stick around to hear that. And then we got some silly season news in the Xfinity series. And of course, we'll go ahead and look at the playoff standings, preview this round, and give our thoughts on this round and the race coming up this week at Las Vegas. So before we get into all of that, how are we doing? Starting with Ben.
Yeah, doing good, man. I had my interview with the Kentucky Barrels this week. They said they wanted to invite me back down to Truist Arena. So, awesome. That's it's definitely exciting. So looking forward to that. But other than that, just living the unemployment life. Again, I'm glad to be done with TQL. So, but yeah, overall, just it's been a pretty chill week. But what about you, Bull? What's going on?
Between work and having a teenage daughter for homecoming week, it's been a hell of a week. I'll just leave it at that. How about you, Paul?
When you said the last second day dress thing, I was like, he may never make it. I have been in the room in situations like that. Obviously, I don't know that from experience. But for me, my answer is NASCAR 25. That has been my life for the past 24 hours, and it will continue to be my life. Hey, actually great time to plug the live stream. I live streamed earlier today. Bull was there, had a great time. I'll be live streaming again the day that you guys will be seeing this Saturday. I'll be live streaming literally 30 minutes after this episode is slated to release. So be sure to tune in if I can get everything streaming going right at 10:30 today. And I'll be streaming throughout the week because I am also living the unemployment life. Technically, actually, I am employed, but just don't have any work scheduled for this week. So, that's been my life. 25. If you guys want to, I think I want to make actually a video about just my thoughts if people should buy it or not. So I guess maybe I'll save some for that. But spoiler alert, I think so. Great game so far, so beautiful. So yeah, enough on my NASCAR 25. Maybe we can get back to it later on in the show. But let's get to this 750 horsepower. It was announced, or Steve O'Donnell confirmed on the Dale Jr. Download, that NASCAR will be moving to a 750 horsepower package at pretty much everything but mile and a halves, 2-mile tracks and super speedways. So that includes Bowman Gray Stadium, Coda, Phoenix, Darlington, Martinsville, Bristol, Watkins Glen, Dover, Nashville, San Diego Street Course, Sonoma, North Wilkesboro, Iowa, Richmond, New Hampshire, WWT, Worldwide Technology Raceway, and Charlotte Roval. So keeping the mile and a halves working fine. That's fine with me. I think they could be improved, but they're definitely the bright spot of this next gen package. But this is like one of the many fan service decisions that have been teased. This is one of the first ones to get confirmed for next year. Ben, I'll let you start. What are your thoughts on all of this?
Yeah. As a race fan myself, I was hoping that eventually NASCAR was going to make the announcement that they were going to increase the horsepower, and that definitely made my week for sure, because I'm definitely looking forward to this in 2026. Something like I said, like the fans wanted and the drivers wanted. I feel like this is a great way to try to improve competition. involve more passing, more driver skill, and tire management, more separation between the cars. Great way to show off their skills. But yeah, we definitely needed this change big time. We also needed to improve the competition on these intermediate tracks. We needed to see more exciting racing on the short tracks and the road courses. I mean, hopefully we'll definitely get that next year, because the road courses have been kind of pretty boring this year, I would say. But yeah, we definitely need to see that, like we see on some of these 1.5-mile tracks. Actually, like what we see at Kansas, and just make the cars a little bit harder to drive and try to give the drivers a little bit of a challenge, because they're the best stock car racers in the world. So I feel like in a way they definitely need to be challenged on with more horsepower. But yeah, overall though, I feel like this is going to increase the competition, and I feel like we're going to get more fans engaged for next season. So yeah, it's definitely going to be fun to watch, and can't wait to tune in.
Well, I will say SVG played a hand in making the road course races so boring, but the car didn't help either. But Bull, what do you think about all this?
I was getting ready to say that golden short horseshoe up SVG and Ben's ass definitely didn't help the road courses. But for going back on the horsepower, it was something that I was really excited for. I was really looking forward to, something I really wanted. I thought that was going to help. However, I am not a racer, but I trust Christopher Bell's and Tyler Reddick's opinion. And they said, I heard in an interview that they said it's not actually going to help the racing. They did a test at New Hampshire with the new horsepower, and it doesn't do much. There's other aspects that need to change that will help it more. Um, I I think personally, me thinking physics, more horsepower, you're going to spin the tires more, you're going to get more tire wear. It's going to help that aspect. I don't know how much it's actually going to help. I am excited for it. Like Ben mentioned, it's something the fans wanted. Uh, it's one less thing that now the fans can complain about. NASCAR actually listened. That's how many times can we say that? That fans wanted more horsepower and we got it. So now it's one thing that we can say NASCAR actually listened to what the fans wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one thing I'll note though. Going to 900 horsepower, or Tyler Reddick said 1,000 horsepower in that interview. Just going to 900 horsepower would be a $40 to $50 million cost per team. Nobody's going to be able to bite that bullet. Not all at once. So maybe the idea is 750 for a couple years and then work our way up to 900. I'm not sure. It also would deter Dodge and Honda from hopping into the series. I think 750 might be their limit on that. So take what we can get. And I think it will improve maybe a little more than the drivers will let on. But like you said, I would probably trust them over you or I on this. So moving on to the other. Or sorry, did you have something to add?
I was gonna say I did forget that he did mention that more horsepower would help, but just going to 750, he didn't think was going to help after the test. That it would take 900 or 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000, which is insane. But we're going to move on to the next Steve O'Donnell nugget. He said on the Dale Jr. download that nothing, as we already knew, referring to the playoffs, nothing will be revealed until the end of the season. We knew that. But he thinks that the current playoffs potentially hurt star power. Totally agree with that. Doesn't like that people talk about the playoffs when someone wins the Daytona 500. I don't know. I never talked about it, but I know media sure did. NASCAR needs the drivers to buy into whatever the format is, which I fully agree with him on that. And they can't have a format in place to bring in new fans at the expense of existing fans, which has been the big mistake they've made over the past decade. NASCAR fans, he also made the very clear statement, if you ask me, but NASCAR fans are not like football fans. So just kind of paraphrasing a lot of the sentiment that he had in his interview with Dale Jr. Really great interview. Go listen to it on the Dale Jr. download to get a little insight on what he thinks. Definitely flipped kind of my opinion. I didn't have a super negative opinion on him, but there were some things that cleared up on how he's doing his job. But I have some things to say, but Bull and Ben, you might just say it for me. I'll let Bull throw it back to you and let you start.
So a couple weeks ago, we talked about our thoughts on a full season playoffs, or no, I'm sorry, a full season championship. After listening to those comments, I think that may be where we're headed. I think that's a lot more up on the table than I originally thought after the first couple conversations that they had. Especially the part where he mentioned we can't have a format to bring in new fans and lose the fans that we already have. That's what kind of sold me that I think they may be leaning more towards a full season than I thought. I am one of the fans that do like the playoffs. I think there needs to be a little change to the format, but I think we're going back to a regular season. If that's what the drivers want, if they're going to buy into it, then let's do it. But like I said, I think that might be where we're headed. Ben?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would agree. Like this format, it definitely affected the star power a little bit. Well, I won't say a little bit, but it definitely has for sure because I feel like ever since this format started, it has taken away opportunities for drivers who are more deserving to be in the playoffs. I mean the one and done, or excuse me, the win and you're in system that definitely needs to go. And yeah, I mean it would definitely be nice to see a full season championship back, the full season championship back. Excuse me. Yeah, it's because we definitely need to get competition back into NASCAR. But I mean that's something that I mentioned on this pod a lot. Well, a couple of times, but I am in a way I do like the playoffs. I feel like whenever I'm tuning into a race, I'm definitely on the edge of my seats, watching the races on what's going to go down, who's going to make the cut line, who's going to be eliminated. But yeah, we just got to find ways to try to make it better. And hopefully NASCAR, they just come up with something here really soon.
See, the thing that it is with the full season format, a lot of people get it confused with the Winston Cup Series points format. We are not going back to those dark ages. We will likely have the similar point system to what we have today, and that will keep things closer. And there are other modifiers like stage points or lap lead points or something that can kind of close the gap a little bit and keep this closer. So you don't necessarily have to go back to the olden days. Like there's a modern full season format that I think can produce very well. And I really liked his point about star power because I know people hate the comparisons to stick and ball sports, but this is more of a general just sports topic. I mean, you can go to F1. Think about the turnover from Lewis Hamilton to Max Verstappen, going from one legend to another legend from just a passing of the torch. When was the last time the torch was passed in NASCAR? Because if you ask me, it never was since Jimmy Johnson left the sport, since he won his 7th championship. I know the smile comes to Ben's face over there. But really, it hasn't. Who has been the dominant figure? Joey Logano? No, I'm not.
No.
3 championships, sure, but there's nothing about him that is imposing, like the 7-time champ who got the torch from Jeff Gordon, had his era, and also, of course, Dale Earnhardt. And then Dale Earnhardt, even before that, Richard Petty. So, who's got the torch now? Where did the torch go? It's disappeared. It's gone. And that's what NASCAR is missing, is that dominance. Kevin Harvick could have taken the torch. What's it, 4 championships if there wasn't for the playoffs? Kevin Harvick could have had that torch and maybe passed it off to a Kyle Larson or somebody else who's got a couple championships. We just don't have that torch right now. And I've said torch a lot, but like that's my point. Like there's nobody. Patrick Mahomes got the torch from Tom Brady. NBA is kind of in the same boat. What happens after LeBron leaves? But I feel like they're in a much better position than we find ourselves in now because we've been without a torch for about a decade now. But enough about torches and pitchforks. But Bull, what do you got?
One more thing. When you think of the next gen car, just you don't have to say it, but think of your top 5 moments of the next gen car. It's kind of I know it's a kind of a long shot
I'm
question,
not sure I got a number one.
but
I don't think I do either.
I got my number one easily is the Hell Melon,
Yeah,
and that
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah.
and we don't get that moment if it's not for the playoffs.
hmm
We don't get moments like that in a full season points race.
There's a certain race at Darlington that I would like to combat that with. A certain Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch before I was born had a pretty good duel there that I would put on the level of the Hail Melon.
But but just and then the full send that Ross had on Sunday. That's the kind of moments you get when
I don't
you
know. I don't know if
Yeah.
I would be using it as a point for the playoffs. I wouldn't be like, oh, look at this bullshit move Ross Chastain
see
tried last
see
week
I
and
kind of
failed.
I kind of like it.
Yeah, so do I.
I like it.
Yeah, I
I
would
don't.
agree.
I don't. I think it's just ugly. I don't know. It just didn't put a good taste in my mouth. But that's all the opinions there. Anything else on this playoff talk before we move on to another lawsuit? It's been a couple weeks since we talked about the lawsuit.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
I'm good.
All right. Well, NASCAR has motioned for a mediation, or they had motioned. I believe that was Monday or Tuesday for a mediation with a judge present. I think they wanted the judge to be the mediator instead of Jeffrey Mishkin, former chief legal officer of the NBA, who mediated the failed attempt back in August. The judge compromises by bringing back Mishkin, but also will be appointing himself to govern the meeting as well. That's the major one. Steve O'Donnell had some interesting comments. There was a text that said "F the teams" that was taken out of context. He was saying that he was telling his boss directly that the deal that he proposed is effing the teams. And a lot of people took that out of context and kind of strewed his words, which he was understandable about, disappointed in. And so another interesting nugget from the lawsuit. I believe October 21st was the date for that meeting. So, but this is probably the closest we have been to a deal, a settlement being raised. NASCAR is very clear they want a settlement, which really to the point that it's like, why? Why do you want a settlement? What are you worried about over there? I mean, Steve O'Donnell was even like just shoving it down the throat. We want a settlement. We want to settle this. We don't want this to go. The teams don't want this to go any further. It was very interesting portion of the episode. But Ben, what are your thoughts on these recent developments in the lawsuit?
Yeah, I mean, this has been going on for so long, and to finally say that they're going to get it all settled, and that would definitely.
I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. It's far from settled, very far from settled. O'Donnell was very clear in that they have no idea what it would take to get 2311 in front row to settle. So it'll be interesting, which I think they do, but they just don't want to tell it.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what the next step is in this lawsuit. But yeah, I mean, just as a race fan, this has been giving me a headache. I mean, a lot of debate, obviously, but I mean, they gotta sometime agree on something. But yeah, I mean, that's where I stand pretty much.
Bull?
Colton, you hit the nail on the head. Why is NASCAR so passionate right now about wanting a settlement? That was my first thought. Either that or Denny has something that they said that happened in their last meeting that nobody has released yet. Something new some kind of new piece of evidence or something came out that the teams have that NASCAR does not want out. There's something going on behind the scenes, and I want to know what that is, because NASCAR has not been wanting to settle. They've been held to their guns, pretty passionate up until the last little bit. So that's what I want to know. What does the teams have now that's forcing NASCAR so bad to want to settle?
Dale Jr. flat out said it on there. Is like a lot of fans are saying this and that about NASCAR wants to settle because they don't want the books on. And I'll tell you what, Steve O'Donnell danced right around that question very, very quickly. So, yeah, I think really next step is just waiting to see what happens at the mediation. Was it December? Sometime in December is when.
December 1st is when the trial's supposed to start.
Yeah,
Okay.
December 1st.
Which it said would then extend it for another year. So Ben, if you think this is long, just wait until the trial gets started.
Yeah.
But that's what they're trying to avoid now with the settlement, and all we can do is sit and wait. Another one that will probably, well, maybe it'll be all settled on October 21st. In theory, it could be. So we'll wait and see. But one more thing before we move on to our playoff talk, let's talk about Harrison Burton and AM Racing announcing that they will be parting ways. This coming off the heels of their elimination from the first round of Xfinity playoffs. He had 2 top 5s and 10 top 10s with a 14th place average finish. Doesn't sound all that impressive, but when you look at what AM had last season, just 2 top 10s as a team overall. Haley Deegan was their only driver until about 17 races into the year, and then she got kicked out. She had an average finish of 27th in her time there, and the team was 32nd in the points at the end of the season, and then finished 13th in the points, or I haven't finished there, but currently sits 13 in the points as it stands, as what I read. I think actually it might be 12th, but regardless, Burton did an incredible job to turn this team around from an absolute backmarker program into a playoff contender. And he did say he'll announce his future plans soon. It appears he will not be returning to Ford, as the Ford logo was amiss in his announcement. Ben has a theory. I have a theory. I'll say mine. I'm thinking JRM. I mean, Jeff Burton, Dale Jr., I think they might know each other. So it checks out. Yeah, just a bit. He's only 25. I feel like this would be a really good landing spot for him. We've seen Junior Motorsports take on, and he's got sponsorship. He's got the support. So it's not like Travis Quaffle where maybe the sponsorship wasn't there. I still don't understand why he's not full-time for that team, but here we are, NASCAR. Woo. But Ben, you got a different theory, so I'll let you spew it.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be definitely interesting to see where Harrison Burton goes for the future. But one theory I had was colleague racing in the trucks. What do you guys say to that?
I think those seats are taken.
You think so?
I think
by
so.
Haley Deegan and Cletus McFarland.
I think there's a couple people.
They got 5. They got plenty of seats.
They're doing the one that for the TV show. They're giving 1 seat away to the TV show. I don't know if you saw that. So there's one. So they're getting a bunch of drivers together and doing a TV show, and the winner from the reality TV show gets one of the rides.
What?
That's an interesting way to start your return to NASCAR.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I mean, it's honestly a good idea as long as like who's on there.
Yeah. I'll find it and I'll send it to you.
We can figure it out after the show. But
yeah,
I like the fit. I like Harrison Burton landing with Dodge at on ground level and maybe becoming their flagship driver. One thing about Burton is his time in the Truck Series wasn't that hot at KBM. He did solid, but he never really hit his stride until he got into the Xfinity Series. So I wonder how willing he is to go back down to the Truck Series. But if Dodge has a plan for him, perhaps I think it'd be really cool. It'd be cool to see him because I think he could. I said it earlier. He's 25 years old. I felt like he was rushed to the Cup Series. I was adamant about that from the start. And I didn't want to hold that against him. However, the lack of performance considering the person that you replaced just never struck me the best way. But it's glad seeing him at AM flip it around, and I'm hoping for the best. But Bull, you got any additional, or Ben? Or we'll go Bull because he didn't get fully talk about his thoughts on it.
Yeah. I hate to keep agreeing with you, Colton, but I do. I think I'm not going to say Harrison Burton is the best thing ever, but I do think he's got a bad rap. I think he was rushed. He was very young, rushed to the Cup Series. Some drivers, it takes a little bit longer to figure everything out. And he got the win last year to make the playoffs at Daytona. And then, like you mentioned, took AM and completely turned them around to a reputable team this year. Took them to the playoffs. Currently sitting 12th, 13th in points. Had a good year. Couple top fives, couple top tens. Maybe he's matured, figured things out. I think he deserves another shot. I don't think, like I said, I'm not going to say he's Kyle Larson or anything, but
Mm-mm.
I think he's starting to he figured everything out. Like you said, I think he was rushed a little bit, and I do think he'll get another shot in the Cup Series.
I mean, look at John Hunter Nemechek. Getting that kind of clean slate, starting fresh, going back through the motions, I feel like has really helped his career. He's still got a ways to go for sure, but I feel like that's kind of a blueprint that you could see play out with Harrison Burton, and Dodge would be the perfect place to get started with that. But any last thoughts on Harrison Burton, Ben?
Yeah, overall, it was just great to see him turn AM racing around compared to last year with Haley Deegan and like setting records for top fives, top tens, and just looking at his stats this week, he definitely has earned the right to try to get a better ride. Like I know I mentioned the Truck Series, him going to Colleague and Ram, but in a way, I was kind of a little hesitant on that because he necessarily hasn't been he wasn't necessarily the best in the Truck Series with Kyle Busch Motorsports, but when you look at his Xfinity background with Joe Gibbs Racing, he had a lot of success in that 20 car with 4 wins in his rookie year. So yeah, I would definitely like to see him at possibly at Junior Motorsports, possibly in the 88 to replace Connor Zillage, because I feel like if he has a great opportunity to get in that car, I feel like he can win some races and who knows, potentially compete for a championship. But yeah, Harrison Burton, he definitely has the talent, and I feel like if you give him some good equipment, he will go out there and he can really perform and go out and win some races. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens to Harrison Burton down the road.
Ben, no offense, but my fat ass could win in the '88 car.
Moving on to the playoff standings, the round of 8 outlook. That's the words I'm looking for. Looking at the playoff standings, though, for this round of 8, you got Denny Hamlin 8 points above the cut line, Ryan Blaney 6, Kyle Larson 4, and William Byron 4. And then Bell is 4 below the cut line with Chase Elliott 14, Chase Briscoe also 14 behind the cut line, and then Joey Logano 24 points below the cut line. Doesn't matter, he'll bullshit his way in there anyways. But yeah, it's fun now. We're getting to the part that I guess legends are made. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But nobody's safe. All you have to do is have a couple bad stages, and guess what? You're out of the playoffs, Denny. But what do you guys think looking at this? I know the big talk of the town is Logano getting through and all of that, and Las Vegas is his track. If he doesn't win there, he's a pretty good super speedway racer. Apparently the best super speedway racer, according to NASCAR 25. But not sure about all of that. When's the last time he won? Like 2018. But Ben, I'll let you start. What do you think when you see this playoff grid?
Yeah, I mean, just looking at this playoff grid, a couple drivers to point out this weekend in Las Vegas. A couple drivers to keep an eye on. I would say Kyle Larson. Just looking at his stats right here, I feel like in a way he's starting to try to get his confidence back a little bit. I feel like specifically last week we saw the real Kyle Larson like going out there leading 27 laps at the Roval, coming off 3 consecutive top 10 finishes. But when you go back to the spring race in Las Vegas, he led a total of 61 laps in the race, and you definitely know he definitely knows how to get around Las Vegas. He's a 3-time winner there, and all around he's great at the mile-and-a-half tracks, repping the wall. But But another driver to keep an eye on, Christopher Bell, 5 straight top 10 finishes in these playoffs. Has been strong on the mile-and-a-half tracks this season. Led a total of 43 laps at Kansas, running third. And I feel like this weekend is a great opportunity for Bell to try to punch his ticket to the Championship 4 in Phoenix. He's come close to winning the Vegas race in the fall. I mean, the last 2 years he started on pole, but he's finished second the last 2 laps. But you know how he is. He's consistently running up front, leading laps. So, yeah, he'll definitely be a factor. And just looking at Talladega, I mean, you obviously can't ignore the Penske guys. Ryan Blaney, 3-time winner at Talladega, arguably the best super speedway racer. And Joey Logano, 3 Talladega wins as well. Always a factor on the super speedways, always up front, leading laps. And But yeah, I would definitely keep an eye on those Penske boys at Talladega. And just looking at Martinsville, I mean, I can see a lot of guys having a great race at the paperclip, like specifically Ryan Blaney starting off. I mean, the last 2 years, he went into Martinsville below the cutoff line, was in a must-win situation, and he went out on top, getting the win to punch his ticket to Phoenix. Phoenix the last 2 years, one of them, he became the champion, excuse me. And Joey Logano knows how to get around Martinsville, always a great short track racer. And all around, this is a great track for Hendrick Motorsports. Like I can definitely see Kyle Larson, William Byron, Chase Elliott competing for the win there, looking strong. But specifically Chase Elliott, I mean, he's been strong at the short tracks this season. And obviously, you can never count out Denny Hamlin, well, I wouldn't say Mr. Martinsville, but he's definitely up there for sure. I mean, he's another great short track racer. He was our spring winner at Martinsville earlier this year, and Christopher Bell definitely knows how to get around Martinsville. But yeah, I feel like overall this is going to be a great round, and it's going to be fun.
Bull?
So one question I got is, how many lives does Joey Logano have in this playoff? If you look, Bubba was getting ready to win a couple weeks ago, and Denny got into that situation, allowed Elliott to win.
Cost me
And
$251. Cost me $260.
Which allowed Logano to advance. And then last week, he passes Ross on with 2 laps remaining. And who was going to be eliminated then too? Logano. He ain't making it out of this round. Denny ain't giving him another life. Denny's gave him 2. He ain't giving him a third. But just, I think Ben pretty much covered it. Martinsville, you got to watch out for Blaney. Super speedways, Logano's probably going to qualify up front. Talladega, and then this week, I'm really excited to watch Bell. See how he finishes. I know he's starting out below the cut. I don't think he's going to stay there very long. I think he's going to have a very good race this Sunday, and we'll see how it shapes up.
Yeah. Yeah, Yesperell said everything that could be said on this round. Martinsville is really anybody's game. You can really make a case for anybody having the best car. And I think that's really the case for the championship overall. You can really make a case that Hamlin, Blaney, Larson, Byron, Bell, Elliott, maybe Elliott and Briscoe, those are kind of iffy, but you could say really all of them are deserving of a championship. They've had their moments in the season, but none of them have had really a full season of just outstanding racing. Logano's the only one that isn't really no reason for him to be here, no reason for him to be competing for a championship, which is precisely why he will win at Las Vegas this week. Spoiler alert on my prediction, and why he will win the championship. My championship 4, we all got our predictions. We'll go ahead and give those out now. I got Logano winning this week and making it to the Final 4. I got Blaney making it. I have Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson representing Joe Gibbs and Hendrick Motorsports. But Bull, what do you got for your Final 4?
So my top 4's pretty straightforward. 3 of them are already above the cut line. I got Larson, Hamlin, and Blaney. And then I got Christopher Bell advancing from below the cut line currently.
So let me get this straight. You got a Penske guy in the Final Four.
Yeah, it's changed. I admit when I'm wrong. I'll admit when I'm wrong.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I love it. Ben, who you got in
All
your
right.
Final Four?
All right. So I got a Penske car as well. I got the 12 of Ryan Blaney. I got the 20 car of Christopher Bell. I got William Byron. Even though he hasn't been the strongest in these playoffs. I mean, 6 races in and he hasn't led a single lap. But I'm not giving up hope that he'll try to turn it around in the round of 8. I mean, he's got some great tracks coming up. He knows how to get around Vegas. He knows how to get around Talladega. He knows how to get around Martinsville. So there's still hope for the 24. Excuse me. And my fourth and final one, I got Kyle Larson going to Phoenix.
Yeah. I mean, this round plays really well for Byron. He's a good super speedway racer. Vegas is a decent track for him, and Martinsville is a great track for him as well. I mean, you could really say that for everybody, though. I don't know about Briscoe, but I know Elliott's a good, obviously a good super speedway. Vegas was a good track for him. I don't know if it is in the next gen era. And then Martinsville, possibly his best track. Bell, great at Vegas, great at Martinsville. So really, everyone, this round plays to everyone's strength. So it just comes down to who's the strongest out of them all, I guess.
Yeah.
One thing I'm going to mention about Briscoe, if he could have had a first half of his season like he did the last half, he would be one of the favorites to advance. I think it did take him and James Small a little bit longer to find that connection and find the speed. But the last half of the season, he's having a hell of an end of the season. I'll be excited to see what they can do, a whole team next year, or a whole season next year.
100%. And you just got to think, if this was a chase, he'd be in pretty good position right now. You know, like, I don't know if that's what we're going to, but, you know, that's one of the possibilities out there. And if he just gets that reset of the season, I mean, we're looking at him completely different, but he still absolutely has a chance. Nothing really, I mean, anything can happen at Dega. Martinsville, not an outstanding track for him, but a decent track for him as a fly flies by, as it has been for the last week or two. But yeah, I think that's really, we summed up the next round pretty well. So is there anything else we want to get out there before we go to fly the flag? I actually skipped that earlier, but we'll get to it before we wrap things up.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
All right, Ben, you got the fly the flag for this week, so I'll let you take it away.
All right. Just got to scroll up here on my notes real quick. My apologies. All right, here we go. All right. Yeah. All right, guys. So first question of the fly the flag this week is Harrison Burton will race for Colleague Racing in the Truck Series for next year. Colton, what do you got?
I'll go yellow because anything's on the table for sure, and I actually really do like that pairing. But I also like the JRM pairing maybe a little bit more. I'm not sure where he finds a ride in the Cup Series down the road, but I think Xfinity is where he's best at, and I think that's where he should spend a year or two and get his reputation back up. He's definitely did a good job of that this year, but yellow flag for me.
All right. Bull, what do you got?
I'm going to go yellow flag as well. I think no matter where he goes, he's getting a step up in equipment. I think he's earned that right. I think he's going to get it. But like you mentioned, there is a couple different landing spots he could go to. Xfinity, trucks, and he has had the most success in the Xfinity series. I think he might find a seat there and stay there.
Yeah. Just like you guys, I'm going yellow flag as well. I know I mentioned it earlier that it'd be interesting to see him go to Colleague in the trucks, but at the same time, I'm a little hesitant of that because he necessarily hasn't had the best Truck Series career. But just looking at his Xfinity record, though, I mean, 4 wins with Joe Gibbs Racing, so I would definitely like to see him in better equipment at Xfinity in the Xfinity series. So yellow flag for me. And my next question is Cody Ware having a higher rating than Jimmy Johnson on the NASCAR game is BS. Colton, what do you think?
Red flag.
Red flag.
Yep. I think Cody Ware this season is a better driver than Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, you don't want to say that.
I said it.
Why, bro? Why? Bull, what do you got?
I'm going red flag as well. If we're rank-
Come
if we're-
on. No.
if we're ranking it on today, Cody Ware deserves to be higher.
I'm going green flag on this one because Cody Ware over Jimmy Johnson, bro. What are we doing? You're putting a guy who's never won a race
This
over a
ain't
guy
10
who's
years
won
ago,
7
Ben.
championships? Huh?
This ain't 10 years ago.
10 years ago. So how many laps led does Jimmy Johnson have this year, Ben? 0.
Hold on.
0.
You want to know how many laps led Cody Ware has?
23.
Hold on. Also, was Ben not the same guy who projected Cody Ware to win the Daytona 500 a couple weeks ago?
Precisely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Cody Ware,
yeah, that's right.
better than Jimmy Johnson. I'm sorry.
All right, fair enough. But little overreaction there. But all right, my last and final question to you guys is: in NASCAR 25, they got all the driver ratings right. Colton, what do you say?
There's a red flag I think we all can agree on. I was talking about it on my live stream. Like, they say it's racing insights, but Joey Logano hasn't won a super speedway race since 2018. That's getting close to a decade now, and we're giving him 100 rating at a super speedway when he wrecks out most of the time. But then Austin Cindric has a 73 at road courses when that's been his best throughout his career. Like, pick a side. Like, make it mathematical. I don't even get William Byron being 100 overall. Don't even get me started on all that, because he's not. He just simply is not the best driver in NASCAR, and that's what they're saying. I think they know that, but they just, I don't know, bull.
Red flag. There's no way that yes, I love the game, but some of these rankings are absolutely insane. If you look at he mentioned some of the big ones. One I'll mention is Connor Zilic. In Cup Series has an 80 on road courses. Xfinity, he has 100. We've seen him run with SVG on road courses. You're telling me
If
at
not for
least
Daniel Suarez, he would have probably won that COTA race.
that's what he's known for, is road courses as well. You're telling me he at least ain't an 85 or a 90? I mean, that's just another one that I saw.
AJ Allmendinger 83 at road courses.
It's
if you're saying it's this year, it's honestly valid. Dinger hasn't been outstanding at the road course. I mean, he's been good, but he hasn't been what we're used to. But then you go and give Joey Logano 100 at super speedways. It's just, I would give Austin Cindric 100 before I would give Joey Logano 100 at super speedways. Give me Byron 100.
Cindric's currently one of the best at super speedways.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Blaney, Blaney's a better super speedway driver than Logano.
Give me Cindric and Blaney on a super speedway any day.
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah. No question. Yeah. I mean, that's really about it for that. You could argue Byron maybe, but enough about that discourse. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, I was kind of going back and forth on this one. I would say red flag, because I was kind of surprised to see William Byron at 100. I mean, being the only driver at 100. I mean, he's a great driver, one of the best in the world right now, one of the best in the world right now. But in a way, I was like, I don't know if he's right there for 100 though. But I do agree with Corey Heim being 100, Connor Zilic being 100. I mean, those guys, they definitely earned it this year. So yeah. But I was a little hesitant on William Byron, but that's where I stand.
Byron's third on his own team in wins this year.
Yeah. That's a great point. Didn't even think about that part. But good old NASCAR 25. Loving it so far. That's really my only complaints to that. A little bit of the multiplayer, but that's just the players, not really the devs. So once again, go get the game if you haven't already. Be sure, is there anything you guys want to say? You guys haven't given your Las Vegas predictions yet, so Really quick, Ben, who you got winning Vegas?
Yeah, this weekend I'm going with the 20 car Christopher Bell. I mean, he's been close the last 2 fall races at Las Vegas. Started on pole, finished second twice, and I feel like that 20 car this weekend, he's going to be strong like he has been all year on the 1.5-mile tracks. And I finally think he's going to break through to get his first win in Sin City and punch his ticket to the championship 4. So give me the 20 car of Christopher Bell.
Bull.
Damn it, Ben, you took mine. That's who I was going to pick as well, was the 20th Christopher Bell. And I'm still going to do it anyway. Give me Christopher Bell. I think he's set. Make that championship 4. He's the one below the cut line I think is going to move up. So give me Christopher Bell to lock himself in this week.
I said mine, Joey Logano. I hate my life.
Something about that 22 car. He just shows up in big moments.
That's one way to put it. I hope you all did enjoy. Be sure to leave a like, hit that subscribe button, comment down below your guys' thoughts. Be sure to keep an eye out for live streams. I'll be streaming again throughout the week. I know definitely Saturday at 10:30, Sunday probably after the race. I'm looking to do a live stream, so a multiplayer live stream. So if you want to race, be sure to join that. And I want to do career mode content, but I forgot to hit record on the stream, so I have to wait for YouTube to process it, and it's currently taking 8 hours for it to process. So probably even longer than that. So the career mode will be delayed because my stupid ass did not hit record, but we will get the recap little videos out here shortly. But I think that's all we got. Be sure to follow Ben at Ben Miller PXP on Twitter. Bull at Bull_81818. Myself at good Lord, I forgot my own Twitter handle, LFC__99. Also, be sure to listen to us on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon podcasts, where you get all of your podcasts. Yeah, I think that's everything. It's a later episode, so I had to go through the list here. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.